शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां 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 शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष माम्
ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। शारदा शारदां भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं कुर्यात्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अज्ञानां जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुशेखरभारतीं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। Hari Om. Welcome everyone to Vande Vidya Shankaram series. Right now we are talking about Vedanta through Stotras on Vishnu Sahasranamam by Sri Pranav Swaminathan. This will be the Vedanta for and by for the next generation. So I welcome Pranav to start the lecture. Thank you.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Ato deva avantu no yato Vishnur vichakrame prithivya saptadhamabhihi श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं श्रीमते शङ्करार्याय धीमतेऽद्भुतशक्तये नमोऽस्त्वद्वैतसिद्धान्तस्थापनोपात्तमूर्तये भारते करुणापात्रं भारते पदभूषणं भारते पदमारूढं भारते तीर्थमाश्रये विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विधुशेखरभारतीम् सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे शमादिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्तेः पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्ति श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि च सर्वशः युधिष्ठिरः शान्तनवं पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत युधिष्ठिरः युधिष्ठिर उवाच किमेकं दैवतं लोके किं वाप्येकं परागिणं सुवन्तः कं कमर्चन्तः प्राप्नुयुर्मानवाः शुभम् को धर्मः सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किञ्जपन्मुच्यते जन्तुर्जन्मसंसारबन्धनात् श्रीभीष्मः उत्तरमुवाच जगत्प्रभुं देवदेवमनन्दं पुरुषोत्तमं स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण पुरुषः सततोत्थितः तमेव चार्चयन् नित्यं भक्त्या पुरुषमव्ययं ध्यायन् स्तुवन्नमस्यंसि यजमानस्तमेव च Until this shloka, we had completed in the last lecture, where we had seen that Yudhishthira asks Bhishma a set of 6 questions, and Bhishma has answered the sixth question or the last question. And in the Tameva Charchi Nityam Shlokam, he answers the fourth question, which, if everybody remembers, was Kamarchantaha Manavaha Shubham Prapnuyuhu, which is by worshipping what or by worshipping whom do Janas, Manushas, attain Shubham or prosperity. And for that, what we saw was Tameva cha Archayan Nityam Bhaktya Purushamavyayam Dhyayan Stuvan Namasyan cha Yajamanaha Tam Eva cha. So, Tameva cha Archayan Bahyarchanam Kurvan. So, before in the for Archana, what Shankara said was Bahihi or Antaha, internal Archana or external Archana. Now, what Shankara is saying is Bahyarchanam Kurvan, or the Archana that is done outside with the various dravyas like Pushpa and everything. Bahyarchanam Kurvan Nityam Sarveshu Kaleshu Bhaktihi Bhajanam Tatparyam. Taya Bhaktya Purushamavyayam Vinashakriya Rahitam Tamev cha Vyayan Abhyantararchanam Kurvan. So, what Shankara is saying is the karmas can be split into three, which are Manasa, Vachika, and Kayika. So, the Manasa karmas are done internally without any external movement. The Vachika karmas are done through the lips by doing stotra and everything. And the Kayika karma is done externally. So, this Archana can be seen as the Kayika karma. The Stuvan, the Stavana can be seen as the Vachika karma, and Dhyayan can be seen as the Manasa karma. So, like this, the three are being split. And how should we do this bhajana? Nityam sarveshu kaleshu bhaktihi bhajanam tatparyam. So, Nityam, always, sarveshu kaleshu, in all times, bhaktihi bhajanam tatparyam. Taya bhaktya. Tatparyam here does not mean opinion. Tatparyam means knowing that that is the param, tat param iti bhavaha tatparyam. So knowing that this bhajanam is the supreme, taya bhaktya, with that bhaktya, who do we worship? Purusham avyayam vinashakriya rahitam, the one that does not have any nasha. In the next shloka also we say anadi nidhanam. So the one that does not have this vinashakriya rahitam, that Purusham Avyayam must be worshipped. Tameva cha Vyayan Abhyantararchanam Kurvan. Abhyantararchanam means the Tameva cha Dhyayan Abhyantararchanam Kurvan. Dhyayam means the internal archana. Stuvan Purvoktena Namasyan Namaskaram Kurvan. Puja Shesha Bhutam उभय स्तुति नमस्कार लक्षणं यजमानः पूजकः फलभोक्ता अथवा अर्चयन् नित्येन उभयविधम् अर्चनम् उच्यते ध्यायन् स्तुवन् नमस्यंश्च इति अनेन मानसं वाचिकं कायिकं च उच्यते. So until this we had seen in the previous lecture. So we see that in the beginning itself there were three questions. One was Kim Japan Muchate Jantuhu Janma Samsara Bandhanat. And then before that was Stuvantah Kam Kamarchantaha Prapnihu Manava Shubham. So now Bhishma is saying the Uttara for all these questions or the answer. And the third question was Stuvantah Kam Manavaha Shubham Prapniyuhu. By praising whom do Manushyas attain Shubha? And for that, the next shloka or the sixth shloka in the Bhashya of the Bhashya Krama is the Uttara for that. Anadi Nidhanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam Sarva Dukkhati Go Bhavet. So Anadi Nidhanam, Adi meaning without beginning, and Nidhanam. Nidhanam means Nashakriya, end, Mrityu. That's why even for Shiva we say Nidhanapatage Namaha, Nidhanapatantika Namaha. So this Nidhanapati or the Lord of Destruction, Lord of Death. Death meaning death of the tamas or death of Ajnana can also be seen. But here Anadi Nidhana meaning one that does not have beginning or end. Tam Vishnum, that Vishnum, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, which we will see in the Bhashya. Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam Sarva Dukha Atigo Bhavet. That person that does this stavanam, he crosses all the dukkhas. Sarva Dukha Atigaha Bhavet. And what the Bhashyakara says is in the Bhashyam is Anadhinidhanam Shadbhava Vikara Varjitam. That Shadbhava Vikara Varjitam is the six bhavas that are experienced. One that does not experience those. That is the Shadbhava Vikara Varjitam. That is Asti, Jayate, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. These six vikaras, these six changes are not experienced by that Shashvata Vishnu. So this Shadbhava Vikara Varjitam, Vishnum, Vyapana Sheelam. Like we saw in the Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnu, there Vishnu means Vyapana Sheelam, Sarva Vyapi, Sarva Vyapinam. So that one that is everywhere, that is presiding everywhere, that Vishnu, Sarvam Lokyate iti Lokaha. Previously, we saw that Loka meant Shastras in the previous verses. Here, Lokyate means what can be seen. Sarvam Lokyate iti Lokaha. Drishya Vargaha Lokaha Tasya Niyantrinam Brahmadinam Api Ishvaratvat. So, because we call even Brahma and everything as Ishvara, the one that pervades everything that can be seen. So, Loka here means that which is visible. And the Supreme Lord, even of Brahma and others who are the masters of the visible universe, he is the Ishvara of that. Sarva Loka Maheshwaraha Tam Lokam Drishyavargam Swabhavikena Bodhena Sakshat Pashyati iti Lokadhyakshaha. So the observes that the visible universe directly by his self-knowledge. That person, he goes beyond all grief. लोकाध्यक्षः तं नित्यं निरन्तरं स्तुवन् सर्वदुःखातिगः भवेत् इति त्रयाणां स्तवनार्चनजपानां साधारणं फलवचनं सर्वाणि आध्यात्मिकादीनि दुःखानि अतीत्य गच्छति इति सर्वदुःखातिगः भवेत् स्यात्. So the one that transcends even the adhyatmika dukkha's and all the types of dukkha's, uh, the three types of dukkha's, is the one that knows that this Vishnu is this Paramatma is the provider of all, and who does stavanam with that. Even without the meaning, also we can do. But here, what it says is दृश्यवर्गं स्वाभाविकेन बोधेन साक्षात् पश्यति इति लोकाध्यक्षः. So tam nityam nirantaram stuvan sarvadukkhatigaha bhavet. So the one that does that is the crosses all the uh, dukkhas. And in the next shloka, he again continues on that. So this shloka was Anadi Nidhanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam Sarvadukhatigo Bhavet Anadi Nidhanam Shadbhava Vikara Varjitam Vishnum Vyapanashilam Sarvam Lokyate iti Lokaha Dishyavargaha Lokaha Tasya Niyantrinam, or the controller of that Loka Brahmadinam Api Ishvaratvat सर्वलोकमहेश्वरः तं लोकं दृश्यवर्गं स्वाभाविकेन बोधेन साक्षात् पश्यति इति लोकाध्यक्षः तं नित्यं निरन्तरं स्तुवन् सर्वदुःखातिकः भवेत्. So by doing stavanam of that deva sarvadukhatiko bhavet iti trayanam stavanaarchana japanam sadharanam phalavachanam sarvani adhyatmikadini dukkhani atitya gacchati iti sarvadukhatiko bhavet syat. So this was the sixth shloka. In the seventh shloka, the moolam is Brahmanyam Sarvadharmagnyam Lokanam Kirtivardhanam Lokanatham Mahadbhutam Sarvabhuta Bhavotbhavam. So for Brahmanyam, it says Brahmane Srashte Brahmanaya Tapase Shrutaya Hitam. So by Brahmanyam, it can mean both the one that is knower of Brahma, or the Brahmanas, the creator of the Brahmanas and Vedas and everything. That can also be meant as Brahman. So it can be Brahma can be either the creator or the Brahmanas and the Vedas. So that Brahmanyam Brahmane Srashte Brahmanaya Tapase Shrutaya Hitam. So the Shrutage Hitam, meaning the Brahmanas, the Kriyas, the Vedokta Karma, Veda, and everything can be meant by Brahmanyam. That's why we see that even the Upanaya Samskara, that's by doing Gayatri, we get this Brahmanyam. So that which is done through the Vedas and everything, that is also Brahmanyam. Or that Srishtikatra Brahma is also can be known as Brahmanyam. So two arthas are given by Shankaracharya. Sarvan dharman janati iti sarvadharmajnah. And the one that knows all dharmas. Sarvam dharmana janati iti sarvadharmagnya. Previously we saw in Kodharma Sarvadharmana that dharma is the chodana lakshanato dharma, or the dharmas or the things prescribed, the kriyas prescribed in the Vedas. So in some places it may be very brief. So we will see Satyam Vada Dharmanchara in two vakyas. But to understand what dharma is, the entire Mimamsa Shastra of 12 adhyayas is written. For Satyam Vada, what is Satyam? That for that the entire Uttara Mimamsa, Vedanta Shastra is written. So the one that knows all these dharmas, Sarvan Dharman Janati iti Sarvadharmagnyah, Tam Sarvadharmagnyam. So the knower of all that, Lokanam Kirtivardhanam, Lokanam Praninam Kirtayaha Yashamsi Swashaktya Anupraveshena Vardhayati iti. So the one, Lokanam, here he says Praninam, for all the pranis, Kirtayaha Yashamsi, the fame. And what does he do to that? Swashaktya Anupraveshena Vardhayati. With his own Shakti, he enhances the Kirti or the Yashas or the fame with his own Shakti by entering his own Shakti. And how else is he? Tam Lokaihi Nathyate Lokan Lokan Upatapayate Shaste Lokanamishtah iti va Lokanatah. So again for Lokanatah, he gives two arthas. He who is desired by the worlds, Nathyate, or he who sheds his light, Natha, on the world. So Natha has two meanings. One is being desired by, and one that also sheds light. So Lokaihi Nathyate, or Lokan Upatapayate, Shaste, Lokan Amishtah iti. So two arthas. For Lokanatha, meaning the Lord of the universe, he is desired by the worlds, or he who sheds his light or Natha on the world, or blesses it. So it can be with those two meanings. Lokanatha tam mahat brahma vishvotkarshena वर्तमानत्वात् महद्भूतं परमार्थसत्यं सर्वभूतानां भवः संसारः यत् साक्षात् उद्भवति इति सर्वभूतभवोद्भवः तं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्. And that sarvabhuta is the truth being superior to the universe, and that is the only true existence. Who is the source, everything, he from who originates the samsara of all beings, is known by sarvabhuta bhavoద్భవం. This mahatbhutam brahma vishvotkarshena vartamanatvat mahatbhutam paramartha satyam sarvabhutanam bhavah samsarah yat sakshat udbhavati iti sarvabhuta bhavoద్భవం, meaning sarvabhutanam udbhavah. So the one that creates the samsara or the life, the janma, because samsara is only through janma initially. So this samsara, the creator of all bhutas, and this mahat bhutam, this great existence, meaning who is the source of the satyam, that is also mahat bhut. So this is again continuing on who should be praised, comes tuvantaha. So again, these are all the adjectives for Mahavishnu or Paramatma Swarup. So the shloka was Brahmanyam Sarvadharmagnyam Lokanam Kirtivardhanam Lokanatham Mahadbhutam Sarvabhuta Bhavodbhavam. For Kirtivardhanam also we see in Gita Kirti Srirvaksanarinam Smritan Medha Dhritihi Kshama. So this Kirti is said to be one of the 9 Devis, Vak Kirti, Shrihi, like that. So again, for this, for without doing anything, by his own Shakti, Swashaktya, he increases the Kirti of all the pranis, Praninam or Lokana. So the Bhashya for this shloka was Brahmanyam, Brahme Srashtre, Brahmanaya Tapase Shutaya Hitam, Va Sarvan Dharman Janati iti Sarvadharmagnyah. Tam Sarvadharmagnyam Lokanam Praninam Kirtayah Yeshamsi Sashaktya Anupraveshena Vardhayati iti tam लोकैः नाथ्यते लोकान् उपतापयते शास्ते लोकानामीष्टः इति वा लोकनाथः tam. So the one that is ishta or desired by the entire loka, or the one that sheds his light on the entire loka, tam lokanatham महद्ब्रह्म विश्वोत्कर्षेण वर्तमानत्वात् महद्भूतं परमार्थसत्यं सर्वभूतानां भवः संसारः यत् साक्षात् उद्भवति इति सर्वभूतभवोद्भवः तं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् is the conclusion of the 7th shloka. The next question answers the question ko dharma sarvadharmana, or the 5th question of the series of 6 questions. The 5th question, ko dharma sarvadharmana bhavatah paramo matah. So that answer is now being given by Bhishma. So the answer is Eshame sarvadharmanam dharmodhikatamo matah yat bhaktya pundarikaksham stavairarchen narasada. So the bhashya for this is Sarvesham chodana lakshananam dharmanam esha vakshamanah dharmah adhikatamah iti me matah mamah matah abhipretah yad bhaktya tatparyena pundarikaksham हृदय पुंडरीके प्रकाशमानं वासुदेवं स्तवैः गुणसंकीर्तनैः गुणसंकीर्तनलक्षणैः स्तुतिभिः सदार्चयेत् सत्कारपूर्वकम् अर्चनं करोति नरः मनुष्यः इति यत् एषः धर्मः इति सम्बन्धः. अस्य स्तुतिलक्षणस्य अर्चनस्य आधिक्ये किं कारणम् उच्यते? हिंसादि पुरुषांतर द्रव्यांतर देशकालादि नियमान अपेक्षत्वम् आधिक्ये कारणम्. niyama anapekshhatvam adhikye karanam. And for that he quotes now multiple Puranas and Smriti Vachanas. ध्यायन् कृते यजन् यज्ञैः त्रेतायां द्वापरेर्चयन् यदाप्नोति तदाप्नोति कलौ संकीर्त्य केशवम् इति विष्णुपुराणे जप्येनैव तु संसिध्येत् ब्राह्मणो नात्र संशयः कुर्यात् अन्यत् न वा कुर्यात् मैत्रः ब्राह्मण उच्यते इति मानवं वचनं जपस्तु सर्वधर्मेभ्यः परमो धर्म उच्यते अहिंसया च भूतानां जपयज्ञः प्रवर्तते इति महाभारते यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि इति भगवद्वचनम् एतत् सर्वम् अभिप्रेत्य एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिगतमो मतः इत्युक्तम्. So what is being said is those that worship this Vishnu with devotion is regarded as the greatest dharma. Those who do that. So what is dharma? This is the first question. Already it has been said before, the Chodana Lakshanartho dharma. So this Chodana Lakshana, that one that has been said by the Vedas, Vakshamanaha dharmodhikatamaha iti me mataha abhipretaha yad bhaktya तात्पर्येण पुंडरीकाक्षं हृदय पुंडरीके प्रकाशमानं वासुदेवम्. So yad bhaktya tatparyena. Tatparya means the one that tadeva param iti bhavaha tatparya. So knowing that that itself is the highest, tadeva param, that, why that bhaktya? Yad bhaktya pundarikaksham. Normally this pundarikaksham means pundarika aksham, meaning the lotus eyed. So, like how we say Kamalaksha, like that, Pundarikaksha is the Paryaya Pada. But here he does not just say that. He says Hridaya Pundarike Prakashamanam Vasudevam, or the one that blooms the lotus inside the heart. That's why in Shruti also we see Dakhram Vipapam Parameshma Bhutan Yat Pundarikam Puramadhyasaggastham Tatra Pidakhram Gaganam Vishokastasmin Yadantastadupasitavyam. And what should be upasana? What should be done upasana of? Yo Vedado Svarah Prokto Vedante Cha Pratishtitah Tasya Prakritileenasya Gaf Parasya Maheshwarah. So, like what that Hridaya Pundarika has said in the Vedas, the one that blooms the lotus inside the heart, that Hridaya Pundarike Prakashamanam Vasudevam. And for Vasudeva, Gita Acharya says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So only after so many janmas, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvam iti Samahatma Sudurlabha. This difficult to find Mahatma, knowing that I am the entire cosmos, Vasudeva Sarvam iti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. This Jnanavan, the one with Jnana, he worships me, is said in the Gita itself. So that Vasudeva stavaihi guna sankirtana lakshanaihi stutibihi sadarchaget satkara purvakam archanam karoti naraha manushyaha iti. एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मः अधिकतमः मतः. अधिकतमः, अधिक meaning greater, अधिकतमः meaning greatest. So he said bhavatah paramo matah. So now he is saying me matah, in my opinion, एषः सर्वधर्माणां धर्मः अधिकतमः. एषः सर्वधर्माणां अधिकतमः धर्मः. So this is the greatest of all the dharmas. And what is that? Yad bhaktya pundarikaksham stavaihi archen naras sada. Naraha we see is manushya. So sadarchet. So stavaihi guna sankirtana lakshanaihi stutibihi sadarchaget satkara purvaka marchanam. So by praising the gunas of that deity, stavaihi guna sankirtanaihi lakshanaihi stutibihi sadarchaget satkara purvakam archanam. So these are all the description of the Archana. And also we can see in Bhaja Govindam also, Bhagavad Gita Kinchadita Ganga Jala after that, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dheye Shripati Rupamajasram. So there, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram. Again, this Vishnu Sahasranam has been quoted by that. For that Dheyam. So that should be meditated upon. Those gunas should be said. Uh, Stavanam should be done. And that Archanam should be done. Knowing that inner tattva. So this Naraha Manushyaha iti yat eshaha dharmaha iti sambandha. Asya stuti lakshanasya archanasya adhikye kim karanam. So now the Purva Pakshis are asking, what is this? What is the reason behind the greatness of this stuti lakshana? Uchyate himsadi purusantara dravyantara deshakaladi niyama anapekshatvam adhikye karanam. Because if you look at the dharmas prescribed by the Vedas, the lots of the Shrauta yagas, they have himsa. In Vedas itself, we can see Vayavyagya Shvetam Alabheta Bhutikamaha. So that Vayavyam Shvetam Alabheta. So all these vadhas are prescribed. So in this, by doing this tavana, there is no vadha. So there is no himsa. Purushantara. You don't need any help of any other purushas. So if you do some Rudra Ekadashi, Satachandi, Sahasrachandi, we need this many people. We need people to set up the Homakunda, Dravya, and everything. So you don't need any Purushantara. Because by the japa or any stavana can be done by one themselves. They don't need any apeksha for any other purusha, any other person. So there is no himsa, there is no purushantara apeksha, dravyantara apeksha. Dravyantara apeksha means we don't need any dravyas like karpura, pushpa, everything. These are all also not needed. And the Deshakaladi niyamas are also much less, because in all the Vedokta karmas there are so many Desha and Kala. It must be done, the yagas must be done near a river, they must be done, this Agni Adhana can only be done in certain ritus. So for example, for the Brahmanas, the Vasanta Ritu is prescribed. Vasanta abrahmano agnimadadhita Vasanto vai brahmanasyartuh svaevaina mritavadhaka brahmavachasi bhavati mukham va etadatunam yadvasantah yo vasantagnimadhatye mukhya eva bhavati. So this Vasanta is prescribed for Brahmanas. And Grishme Rajanyadadhita Grishmo Vairajanyasyartuhu Swaevaina Mritavadhaya Sharadi Vaishyadadhita Sharadvai Vaishyasartuhu. So like that, the Kalas are prescribed. And these deshas are also prescribed. In this desha only certain karyas must be done. So because for this stavanam, it can be done anywhere at any time by any person. So we don't need to do himsa of any other bhuta. There is no bali or anything. There is no apeksha for purushantara or any dravya as well. And it is free from this deshakala niyamas. So because of this, it can be done much more by more people. So that is why it is the karanam or reason for this adhikya or greatness. And the first quotation we saw was from Vishnu Purana. And what does it say? Dhyayan krite yajan yajnehi tretayam dvaparer chayan yadapnoti tadapnoti kalu sankirte keshavam. So dhyayan krite, in the Krita Yuga, this dhyanam is said to be the highest. In the Satya Yuga, the first Yuga, the dhyanam, this meditation. Yajan yajnehi tretayam. Tretayam, in the Treta Yuga, this yajan yajnehi, by doing all these yagas. Like we see Rama did this Ashwamedha yaga and everything. Dwapare archayan. In this Dwapara Yuga, the Archana is said to be the highest. And yadapnoti tadapnoti kalau sankirta keshavam. In the kalau or in this Kali Yuga, sankirta keshavam. Keshavam sankirti. So this Keshava, that the any Ishvara is the stavanam of that sankirtyam. Sankirtana doesn't mean just singing, it can be samyak kirtanam or praising well is sankirtan. So that is prescribed in the Kali Yuga. And in the next quotation, he quotes from Manusmriti. जप्येनैव तु संसिध्येत् ब्राह्मणो नात्र संशयः कुर्यात् अन्यत् न वा कुर्यात् मैत्रः ब्राह्मण उच्यते. So जप्येनैव तु संसिध्येत्. So by this japa only do these people get fulfilled. Samsiddhyet. So siddhi means this fulfillment, this completion. So this is done only through japa. And next also we see in Mahabharata, japastu sarva dharmebhya paramo dharma uchyate ahimsaya cha bhutanam japayajnah pravartate. So among all the dharmas, this paramaha dharma is the japa, or this greatest dharma is the japa yajna. And because of what? Because there is no bhuta himsa. Ahimsaya cha bhutanam japa yajnah pravartate. And in the next one, Gita Acharya says in Vibhuti Yoga, Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. So he does not say, like we saw before, like Yajnanam Vajapayosmi, Yajnanam Pondarikosmi, Yajnanam Agnishtomosmi, anything he could have said. But he says Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi because this Japa Yajna is said to be the greatest. And even in the previous lecture, we saw that this japas are split into three, which is the Ucha Japa, Upamshu Japa, and Manasa Japa. And we saw that the Manasa Japa was giving the greatest phala out of those three. In that Manusmriti Vachanam also that is there. Iti Bhagavad Vachanam. Etat sarvam abhipretya eshame sarvadharmanam dharmodhikatamo mataha ityuktam. So, by knowing all this, by uh, taking into consideration all these facts, Bhishma has given the Uttara that this is the greatest of all dharmas. So, for the Prashna ko dharma sarvadharmanam bhavatah paramo matah yad को धर्म सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किं जपन् मुच्यते जन्तु जन्म संसार बन्धः. So that for the first question, को धर्म सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः, this is the answer. So एषमे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिगतमो मतः यद् भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैः अर्चेत् नरः सदा. So मे मतः मम मतः सर्वधर्माणां अधिगतमः धर्मः एषः. So, in my opinion, among all the dharmas, this is the greatest dharma. And what is that dharma? Yat bhaktya pundarikaksham stavaihi archet naraha sada. Naraha, by this bhakti, by worshipping this hridaya pundarike prakashamanam vasudevam stavaihi archet. And when sada, always, at all times, sarveshu kaleshu stavaihi archet. So either by the Vakya Vachikam or the Kayik. So this concludes the 8th shloka. The 9th shloka answers the second question. So the second question was Kim Vapyekam Parayanam. The first shloka, the first question was Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kim Vapyekam Parayanam. So Kim Vapyekam Parayanam. What is the greatest goal? Is now being answered by this 9th shloka. And what is that shloka? Paramayyo mahattejaha, paramayyo mahattapaha, paramayyo mahadbrahma paramayyah parayanam. So this is the answer. So he kimba pekam parayanam. What is the greatest goal? And for that the answer is he who is the supreme and great light, who is the supreme and great ruler, who is the supreme and great Brahman, and who is the supreme and highest goal. Paramayyah Parayanam. So this answers Kimva Pekam Parayan. So the Bhashyakara writes, Paramam Prakrishtam Mahat Brahat Tejaha Chaitanya Lakshanam Sarvavabhasakam Sarva Avabhasakam Yena Suryastapati Tejaseddha Taddevo Jyotisham Jyotihi न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् इत्यादि श्रुतेः यदादित्यगतं तेजः इति इत्यादि स्मृतेश्च. परमं तपः तपते आज्ञापयति इति तपः य इमं च लोकं परमं च लोकं सर्वाणि च भूतानि योऽन्तरो यमयति इति अन्तर्यामि ब्राह्मणैः सर्वनियन्तृत्वं श्रूयते भीषास्माद्वातः पवते भीषोदेति सूर्यः भीषास्मादग्निश्चेन्द्रश्च मृत्युर्धावति पञ्चमः इत्यादि तैत्तिरीयके तपतीष्टः इति वा तपः तस्य ऐश्वर्यम् अनविच्छिन्नम् इति महत्त्वम् एषः सर्वेश्वरः इत्यादि श्रुतेः परमं सत्यादिलक्षणं ब्रह्म महनीयतया महत् परमं प्रकृष्टं पुराणवृत्ति शङ्कारहितं परायणं परम् अयनं परायणं परमग्रहणात् सर्वत्र अपरं तेजः आदित्यादिकं व्यावर्त्यते सर्वत्र यः देवः इति विशेष्यते च यः देवः परमं तेजः परमं तपः परमं ब्रह्म परमं परायणं सः एकं सर्वभूतानां परायणम् इति वाक्यार्थः. So this is all the bhashya for the ninth shloka. So roughly the supreme goal is said to be the one with these lakshanas. Yaha devaha paramam tejaha paramam tapaha paramam brahma paramam parayanam is the greatest goal. Saha ekam sarvabhutanam parayanam iti vakyarthaha. So the anvaya or the meaning of that can be said. So here there are lots of aspects. So first of all, this tejas is in Samanya language, tejas means light. But here Chaitanya Lakshanam sarva avabhasakam paramam prakrishtam mahat brahat tejah. So prakrishtam meaning that specific, that is very radiant, that tejas. Yaha Mahat Bhrata Tejaha Chaitanya Lakshanam Sarva Avabhasakam, the one that lights everything. Yena Suryas Tapati Tejaseddaha. So in Yajurveda there is this mantra Yena Suryas Tapati Tejaseddaha Pita Putrena Pitraman Yoni Yono Navedivan Manutetam Prahantam Sarvanabhumatmanagum Samparage. So he that gives the light to Surya. Yena Surya tapati tejasedha. So the one that gives that tapanam or that radiance of Surya is given by this Parabrahman only. Because if you look at Tejas, all this Aditya, Agni and everything, they're all Jata Tejas. But this Chit Tejas is only the from the pure consciousness or Paramatma Swarup. So that's why Yena Suryas Tapati Tejasedha Pita Putrena Pitraman Yoni Yono. Like how the Pita, the father, only gets the name by the son. Because without the son, because without the child, the father would have that title, right? Because of the son only does the uh, being become a father. Pita putrena pitraman yoni yono. Like that. So that prakrishtam mahat tejah. Because even in Tarkashastra and everything, even Suvarna has tejas, gold has tejas. But that cannot be seen. That is not prakrishtam tejas. So this prakrishtam tejas is only in the Chaitanya Lakshanam Sarva Avabhasakam. Yena Suryas Tapati Tejaseddaha. That Paramatmana. Tad Devo Jyotisham Jyotihi. Na Tatra Suryo Bhatina Chandatarakam. So even the Surya does not give prakasha in the day, and Agni and Chandra, the nakshatras do not give prakashika in the night. Without this Chaitanya Tejas. Ityadi Shrutehe Yadaditya Tejah. So in Gita we see Yadaditya Tejo Jagat Bhasagate Khilam Yachandramasi Yachagno Tattejo Vidhimamakam. So in Purushottama Yoga, Krishna says, know that I am the brilliance of the sun and I illuminate the entire Vishwam. And the radiance of the moon and everything also come from me. Yachandramasi Yachagno Tattejo Vidhimamakam. So know me as the one that from which the Surya gets tejas, as long as the Chandra and Agni as well, fire as well. So this Smriti also is can be quoted. So already we are seeing the style of the Bhashya, because Shankaracharya is known as Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam. So when reading the Bhashya, you can see quotes from Shruti, Smriti, and Puranas. So because he has mastered all that, by age of 8, he has mastered all the Vedas. By age of 12, he has mastered all the Shastras. And by 16, he has written all the Prasthanatraya Bhashya. So for that, what he has written in the 32 years of his life, we cannot even understand completely after 32 janmas. That is why Adi Shankara is called the Avatara Purush. So Sakshat Shankara, right? He is Sakshat Shiva Swarupa himself. So like this, we will see quotations from all Shruti, Smriti, and Puran. So Paramam Tapaha, Tapate Ajñapayati iti Tapaha. So for the Paramam Tapas, Tapas here means ruler. And because he rules by the heat of his command, this Antaryami, the Antaryami Brahmana, it speaks of his being the universal ruler. And what is that quotation? Ya imancha lokam paramancha lokam sarvani cha bhutani yontaro yamayati. Or he who rules by dwelling in this world as also in other worlds and all beings. So that. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad also we see, and by this Antaryami Brahmana Vakya we see the Sarva Niyantritvam. Sarva Niyantritvam. Niyanta is it means one that is controlling. So Sarva Niyantritvam is shown because he is the one controlling all the lokas, and Sarvani cha Bhutani. Yaha Antaraha Yamayati, and the control of all the bhutas in all the lokas. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, what can be seen is Bhisha asmat dvatah papate, Bhisho deti suryah, Bhisha asmat agnischendrascha, Mrityuho dhavati panchamaha. So because of him only vatah papate, the wind blows. Bhisho deti suryah, because of this only the suryah udeti. Bhisha asmat agnischa indrascha, Mrityuho dhavati panchamaha. So like this, all these Shruti Vakyas are saying that he is the ruler of all. And tapati ishta iti va tapaihi tasya aishwaryam anavichinnam iti mahatvam esha sarveshwaraha. And this aishwaryam, he has unlimited power. Tasya aishwaryam anavichinnam iti mahatvam. So esha sarveshwara from Mandukya Upanishad, it's also saying the same thing. And after that, what Shankara says is, Paramam Satyadilakshanam Brahma Mahaniyataya Mahat Paramam Prakrishtam Punaha Avritti Shankarahitam Parayanam Param Ayanam Parayanam. So, Paramam Satyadilakshanam Brahma Mahaniyataya Mahat. So, this Paramam, this greatest Satyadilakshanam. Brahmavida apnoti param. So that paramam satyadilakshanam brahma mahaniyataya mahat. And because of this mahatvam, it is mahat. Paramam prakrishtam, or that is shining so much that there is no doubt that that vastu exists. So punaha avritti shankarahitam. So for other things we have to do avritti. And even after that, we'll have to check again and again to see if it's there. Now we see one vastu is there, tomorrow that is not there. But here, even without any doubt, avritti shankarahitam parayanam, param ayanam parayanam. So the greatest goal, param ayanam parayanam. And paramagrahanat sarvatra aparam tejaha adityadikam vyavartayate. So because of this word, if we just said paramam tejaha, if he just said Yaha Tejaha, that is different. But he said Paramayo Mahat Tejaha. by this Parama Shabda, this Paramagrahanat, from this, what we see is Sarvatra Aparam Tejaha. Like I mentioned, the Jada Tejas that can be seen in Agni, Aditya, Chandra, Nakshatras, and everything. Aparam Tejaha Adityadikam Vyavartyate. So they are setting aside. They are saying it is not Aditya. Aditya is not the one that should be worshipped. The one that gives the radiance to Aditya is the one. Sarvatra yaha devaha iti visheshyate cha. So he concludes with the Anvaya. Yaha devaha paramam tejaha, paramam tapaha, paramam brahma, paramam parayanam, saha ekam sarvabhutanam parayanam iti vakyartha. So the goal of all the bhutas is to attain yaha devaha paramam tejaha, paramam tapaha, paramam brahma, paramam parayanam. So the highest in tejas, paramam tejaha, paramam tapaha, paramam brahma. So that is the goal. And by tapanam, it can be in tasya aishwaryam, anavichinnam. So the one that has unlimited aishwarya is can be said as paramam tapaha. So this is the paramam parayanam. So this answers the question which we saw Kimbapyekam Parayanam or the Dvitiya Prashna, second Prashna posed by Yudhishthira to Bhishma. So Shloka was Paramayyo Mahattejah Paramayyo Mahattapaha Paramayyo Mahadbrahma Paramayyah Parayanam. So Paramam Prakrishtam Mahat Brahat Tejah Chaitanya Lakshanam Sarvavabhasakam Yena Suryastapati Tejasedha Taddevo Jyotisham Jyotihi न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् इत्यादि श्रुतेः यदादित्यगतं तेजः इत्यादि स्मृतेश्च परमं तपः तपते आज्ञापयति इति तपः य इमं च लोकं परमं च लोकं सर्वाणि च भूतानि योऽन्तरो यमयति इति अन्तर्यामि ब्राह्मणैः सर्वनियन्तृत्वं श्रूयते भीषास्माद्वातः पपते भीषोदेति सूर्यः भीषास्मादग्निश्चेन्द्रश्च मृत्युर्धावति पञ्चमः इत्यादि तैत्रियके तपति इष्ट इति वा तपः तस्य ऐश्वर्यं अनवच्छिन्नम् इति महत्त्वम् एषः सर्वेश्वरः इत्यादि श्रुतेः परमं सत्यादिलक्षणं ब्रह्म महनीयतया महत् परमं प्रकृष्टं पुनः आवृत्तिशङ्कारहितं परायणं परम् अयनं परायणं परमग्रहणात् सर्वत्र अपरं तेजः आदित्यादिकं व्यावर्त्यते सर्वत्र यः देवः इति विशेष्यते च यः देवः परमं तेजः परमं तपः परमं ब्रह्म परमं परायणं सः एकं सर्वभूतानां परायणम् इति वाक्यार्थः. So this concludes the bhashya of the 9th shloka, which answers the second question. The next shloka answers the first question. The first question, if everybody remembers, was Kimekam Daivatam Loke. So, what is that one God in that universe? By Daivata, we say that by Tapratyaya means Devaha. So, Ekaha Devaha Kaha Loke in the Shastras is the question. And for that question, he gives a huge answer with more than 35 quotations. So, we will see how much ever we can, and we can pause at this shloka. So, this has lots of tatparya in it because we have to see what is Deva. So this is not an easy question to understand. So he brings in various Purana, Itihasa, Shruti, Smriti, Vakyas to make us understand the point. So Pavitranam Pavitranyah Mangalanam cha Mangalam Daivatam Devatanam cha Bhutanam Yovyayah Pita. So Yaha Pavitranam Pavitram. So, who is the purest among the pure? Mangalanam cha Mangalam. Who is Mangala or beneficent among the Mangala Rishiyas? Meaning, who gives Sukha among the Sukhaprada? Uh, Devatanam Daivatancha, and the God of the gods, and Bhutanam Avyayaha Pita, or the imperishable unchanging father of all beings. Bhutanam yaha avyayah pita. So the bhashya starts with Pavitranam Pavitram. Pavananam Tirthadinam Pavitram. So we see that these tirthas are said to be pavitra, like Janhavi, Ganga, all these tirtha. By doing snana in those tirthas, the papas are going away. So pavitra is one that removes sin. That is called pavitra. That is why Bhashyakara says pavananam tirthadinam pavitram. So Pavanana, meaning one that destroys Papa, is called Pavitram. So among these tirthas and everything, even greater than that, even more than all of the tirthas combined, or any tirthadi, any Pavitra, that Pavitra Vastu, Yaha Pavitranam Pavitram, परमस्तु पुमान् ध्यायतः ध्यातः दृष्टः कीर्तितः स्तुतः सम्पूजितः स्मृतः प्रणतः पाप्मनः सर्वान् उन्मूलयति इति परमं पवित्रम्. So परमस्तु पुमान् ध्यातः दृष्टः कीर्तितः स्तुतः सम्पूजितः स्मृतः प्रणतः पाप्मनः सर्वान् उन्मूलयति इति परमं पवित्रम्. So we saw this Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra can be said as both Shastra Grantha and Stotra Grantha. Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram itself it's a Stotra Grantha because we are praising Vishnu and we are saying the 1,000 names of Vishnu, which contains all the gunas that Vishnu has. So this is said to be the greatest purification. Pavitranam Pavitram Yaha. So by knowing this and doing japam of this, and not just japa, Puman dhyatah. Puman does not just mean man, Puman means humans. Dhyatah, drishtah, kirtitah, stutah, sampujitah, smritah, pranatah. So again, the same thing, the dhyayam stuman namasyancha, the same thing is being conveyed here also. So dhyatah, drishtah. So the one that has darshana in various devalayas of that devaha, or dhyatah, the one that does dhyana of that Ishvara, kirtitah, stutah, like in Dakshinamurti Stotram we see सर्वात्मत्वम् इति स्फुटीकृतम् इदं यस्मात् अमुष्मिन् स्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात्. So that stave we see for stavanam, and tena asya shravanat tadarthamananat dhyanat sankirtanat. So the same thing is that has been said by Shankaracharya in Dakshinamurti Stotram is being said here also. So by this stavana, he who awakes the Atman within us through his silence, and by listening to it, meditating on it, meditating on the Vishaya of it, and glorifying it, Sankirtanat. So these are all being said there also. So Shravana meaning hearing this Tattva, Artha Mananat, Artha Manana meaning after the Patha, doing Manana or this doing this Avritti. That's why in Brahma Sutra also we see like Avritti Upadeshat. So all that. This Mananat, Dhyanat, that Dhyanam, then Sankirtanat, meaning glorifying that. So that same thing is also being said here. And there are also various other shlokas. In Gita we see Apichet Sudaracharah Bhajate Mamananya Bhak Sadhureva Samantavyah Samyak Vyavasito Hisaha. So even a Durachara, even the greatest sinners of the sinners, even a very, very bad person, Yaha Mam Ananya Bhak Bhajate, who worships me with exclusive devotion, he is said to be Sadhureva Samantavyah. He should be thought of as a sadhu or a good person only, not a durachara. Samyak vyavasito hisaha. Because he has this proper resolve He has this proper conviction that even after doing all this papas, that one must worship this Ishwar. Like we see so many people also that may not have too much parishaya with Advaita. They think that Advaita Mata does khandanam of bhakti, or that bhakti should not be done. And by these shlokas, by this bhashya, we can see that that is not more far from the truth. Because in Advaita Sampradayas, Shankaracharya has written so many bhakti granthas in stotras like Subramanya Bhujanga, Sharada Bhujanga, so many Ganesha Pancharatna, so many stotras that show only bhakti. In one shloka, he says that I don't know Vedam, I don't know Smriti, I don't know Purana, but all I know is to do bhajana view. So if Shankaracharya himself, if he says that, that is who he knows that all he who knows all the Vedas and Shastras and everything. So then, what more bhakti do we need more than that? And this archana that comes from the arch pujayam dhatu. So like that, samyak kirtanam is also said also. And after that, Shankaracharya said, hmm, कीर्तितः स्तुतः सम्पूजितः स्मृतः प्रणतः पाप्मनः सर्वान् उन्मूलयति इति परमं पवित्रम्. So the one that does all of this, the one that purifies that person is called paramam pavitram. In Gita also, in another part, Krishna says, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. So this Ishvara that is situated in everybody's heart. That's why we saw in the previous shlokas also that uh, Hridaya Pundarike Prakashamanam. So the one that blooms the lotus within the heart is the one that is being uh, conveyed here. And samsara bandha hetu bhutam punyatmakam karma tatkaranam cha ajnanam sarvam nashigati swayathatmajnanena iti va pavitranam pavitram. So the one that samsara bandha hetu bhutam. So the hetu or the cause, the being of cause, hetu bhutam, for the samsara. Samsara meaning this janana marana, all this samsara cycle, samsara chakra that we are in, the cause of that. And punyatmakam, punya apunyatmakam, karma tat karanam. So the karana of both the punya and apunya. Because these things cannot be seen directly. If it's a drishta phalam, then they do not even need to be said as a dharma or something that is in Veda. Because you don't need to say that, to fulfill hunger, you have to do bhojana. Because that can be seen by the Pratyaksha Pramana itself. So all these things that are being said by Veda, which are being discussed here, cannot be seen. This punya and apunya. That's why even for Veda itself, the Lakshana of Veda is प्रत्यक्षेण अनुमित्या वा यस्तूपायो न बुध्यते तस्माद् वदन्ति वेदेन एवं विदन्ति वेदेन तस्माद् वेदस्य वेदता is the shloka. So the things that cannot be seen by the pratyaksha pramana or the anumana pramana, by both seeing directly or by inference, things that cannot be seen are discussed by the Veda, and by only the Vedas we can see them. So if we see that by this yaga that Swargam will come, then that cannot be seen by any itara pramana. And all these Smriti, Sadachara, and Purana, they are all only bound to the Vedic Praman. And because of the Veda only, we have Punya and Papa. So all these Punya karmas, there are certain Samanya dharmas like Satyam, Vada, Dharmam, Chara. These are Samanya dharmas. There are certain karmas that cause Punya and certain Papas that cause Apunya or Papa. So there are also so many Nishiddha Vakyas like Nastriyamupeyat, Namagum Samashniyat. So by doing all these things, Papa come. So the Karana, Punya Apunyatmakam Karma, Tat Karanam Cha Ajnanam Sarvam Nashagati. Soyathatma Jnanena. So all this Ajnana is destroyed. Nashagati. by this Atma Jnana, and this is called the Pavitranam Pavitra. So the only difference between other Siddhantas is they say that by doing Nama Japa itself, one gets moksha. In Advaita Siddhanta, like we saw before, doing Nama Japa becomes a hetu for Chitta Shuddhi, and through Chitta Shuddhi, one can attain moksha through Atma Jnana. So the same bhava is being said here. Sarvam nashigati swagathatma jnanena iti va pavitranam pavitram. And we were seeing so far this Shiva Vishnu Bheda will also come. So here we are seeing Vishnu, Vasudevam, everything. So why not Shiva? Is can be said by a lot of people. Or why not uh, Devi? Or why not Ganapati? Or why not Skanda? So in the Vishnu Sahasranam itself, once we get to the Moolam, we will see certain namas like Sarva Sharva Shivasthanuhu Bhutadhir Nidhiravyah. So Shiva has Thanuhu. These are all names for Shiva only, right? And Rudro Bahushara Babruhu. So Rudraha. These are all being said as names of Shiva itself, of Vishnu himself, even though they're normally associated with Shiva. And this Nilakantha Dikshita that came in the Vamsha of Appaya Dikshitendra, he has written this Shivatattva Rahasyam that is a commentary of the Shiva Ashtotra Shata Namavali. So there's 108 names of Shiva. He has written a commentary of that. And for that, one of the Parashruti he says is Bilva Patraihi Prashastescha Pushpescha Tulasi Dalaihi. So Tulasi Dala is normally prescribed only for Vishnu worship. And other than certain days and certain sthalas, this Tulasi Dala is Nishiddha for Shiva. But even that is being included there. And another beautiful shloka in that same Shivatattva Rahasya, Nilakanta Dikshita says, Mridaha Pashupatir Devaha Mahadevo Vyayo Harihi. So this Hari is also being included. Pusha Danta Vidavyagro Daksha Dvaraharo Haraha. So this Hari Hara is being said as the same only. And we will see that that is the topic of discussion in the Bhashya for this shloka itself. So as I mentioned, there are almost more than 30 quotations. So in that also, this Purva Paksha will come, why not Shiva and everything. So this was the basic. And in the Andhra Sampradaya also, in the Sandhyavandanam, they say Shivascha Hridayam Vishnuhu, Vishnoscha Hridayam Shivaha. So Shiva is Vishnu is said to be the Hridaya or heart of Shiva, and Shiva is said to be the heart of Vishnu. So the Harihara Aikyas will also be said in the Bhashya for this shloka. So with this, we can conclude here and continue the Bhashya in the next lecture. Shri Gurubhyo Namah.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you so much. It's so good. Jamunanansi, please go ahead.
No, thank you, Pranav. Very wonderful exposition. And I just want to, I missed it. You gave two meanings for Brahmanyam and Lokadeksham. I know you did a 1 hour lecture. Can you please repeat it? The two meanings you gave for both those terms. I caught only one meaning, Brahmanyam and Lokadeksham. But before you go to the meanings, wonderful quotations, especially for that one line. No, Paramamyo, Mahateja, Paramamyo, you quoted the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Antaryami Vidya, and then you quoted the Anandavalli from Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhishasmad Vata Pavataha, and then you quoted the Nach Chandra Tarakam, you quoted the Mundak Upanishad. So for that one line, you quoted Atharva Veda, you quoted the Yajurveda, you quoted the Samaveda, everything is coming in that one line. So I'm very happy that you are like
quoted
so.
By Shankaracharya himself. For
Yes.
Gita, I have quoted some instances and Manusmriti also, but in the Bhashya itself, Shankaracharya has given these quotations.
Yes. So, but anyhow, we need somebody to explain that to all. And I think all these Shruti Smriti Purana quotes you're giving is wonderful and very lively to hear. And thank you for educating all of us. But if you can just enlighten us the two meanings, one for the Brahmanyam and the other from Lokadhyaksham. I heard it, but I couldn't grasp it.
Yeah. So Brahmanyam can be said that Shakti that is done by the Vedic karmas. That Brahmanyam by Gayatri, Japa and everything. That is one artha for Brahmanyam. The other Brahmanyam artha is the Chaturmukha Brahma. The one that is Srishti of the Loka. That is the artha.
Artha. Okay. One is Chaturmukha Brahma, and other one is the capacity to become a Brahmana by doing all those Vedic. Yes.
That Brahmanatvam is called
Yes,
Brahma.
yes.
So that's why it says Brahmanyam Brahmane Srashtre Brahmanaya Tapase Shrutaye Hitam. So that by this tapas and Shruti, the Shruti Bala, that Brahmanyam, that Shakti that comes, that is one Brahman. And for Lokanatha, that says one that is liked by everybody, Lokaihi Nathyate, Atava Lokan Upatapayate, Shaste. So the one that is liked by everybody in the world, or the one that controls the world,
Good.
or both. The Lokanam Natha. So the controller of the world, or the one that is liked, Ishta, by the entire.
Oh, thank you very much, Pranav. Any Somaji?
He went on mute, but yeah, I got it. Jamunanji, I think that's very well put on that. This is good. I had also one more question, but generally we'll wait for questions at the end, so I can wait for that. I had one more question on your sixth sloka, the Anadinidhanam. What are the 6 changes? We can wait for those 6 again. If you can repeat those 6, it's good, but we can do it probably after. Let's take it away, finish the, then we'll continue.
मङ्गलं गुरुश्री चन्द्रमौळीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिके शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिके के काल भैरवर के काली दुर्गै के वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिर्के मल्लिकार्जुनर के செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே ஸ்ரீ சக்கரவாசினி கே சீதாராம லக்ஷ்மண சகித மாருதி சரணத்திற்கே வித்யாரண்யர் கே विद्याशंकर के वागीश्वरी के वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रमण्यर के तुंगभद्रै के श्रृंगनिवासिनी के श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகை के सच्चिदानंद शिव अभिनव नृसिंह भारती के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु सार्वभौमर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौळीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिक शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिகை के श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள்